Hey y'all, it's Julie. Welcome back to the channel. We're doing a little bit more of this working around the garden, doing some big managements before we go back and do some more rows in the agroforest. So let me show you what we're going to be working on today. All right, so here we have an Inga. Sorry for the lighting. And it is absolutely covered in vines. These are passion fruit vines. We've actually got two types of passion fruit on here, the more standard kind of yellow variety. We've got quite a few on the ground here. And we've also got some Jamaican lilikoi in there, which made its first fruits this year. We finally got the pollinator to kind of come in and pollinate a few of the flowers. But in any case, it is definitely time to give this thing a management. It is getting very big. Passion fruit will only fruit on new growth, so pruning it every year or two is pretty ideal. Otherwise you just get a lot of vine that isn't productive and it just gets kind of crazy. So if we pop in here, it's a pretty cool space. This did great for us this year. We had a lot of production. We sold quite a few pounds of these passion fruits. But what will happen if we don't prune all of this vine back, it will basically, next year the vines will get thicker and thicker and the fruits will stop falling when they're ripe. So that becomes an issue. So we're basically going to carve all of this off the tree. We're going to prune the tree back. And so it's taking up a much smaller footprint with this whole curtain of passion fruit situation. Now, if we have time, we may try to get to some of our other trees in here. We do also have a kukui, and you know, this one has actually been damaged by the longhorn beetle pest. If you can see here. So we do want to get this tree down in the very near future, make sure there aren't any larvae still living in there. We're just trying to wait a little bit because we do have a bunch of seed getting produced, so we do have the next generation on the way. So this management, so a lot of it we're kind of going to play by ear. It's looking like, you know, a lot of trees are entangled in these vines. We also have a monkey pod over here. And so we're probably going to have to cut the vines apart to kind of get them away from the trees. We're probably going to have to cut like some chunks out and, you know, kind of piece back the branches. And, you know, we'll probably let you know more of how that went and exactly what we did when we're all done. So let's go ahead and get into the time lapse, and then we'll do a little wrap up and let you know how it went. All right, we're all done with the Inga lilikoi passion fruit management. Let's take a look and see what we did here. All right, so as you can see, we are back down to bare bones over here. Tons and tons of mulch on the ground. This is all that lilikoi vine. This coconut over here, getting some well-deserved sun. It has been a while because that big mass has been kind of blocking our morning sun. So this coconut, this is supposed to be a low-bearing coconut, so it needs all the sun it can get to stay low. Otherwise it's going to be stretching for the sky, as things do when they are in the shade. So anyhow, getting back to this Inga here and how we did that management. I was able to use the 6-foot ladder for the majority of it, which I love. That 12-foot ladder is wonderful, but it's really, really hard to get around and move around. So I did as much as I could from the 6-foot ladder. I basically started from one side, kind of over on that side. I just set up the ladder next to all of kind of the vine curtain, and then, you know, just got everything within reach, and kind of just went around the entire tree, doing what I could reach, disconnecting it from the other trees, because we did have a connection over here to the monkey pod, and we did have a connection to another Inga that's kind of back in that dark hole there. So just kind of worked a way around everything I could reach from the 6-foot ladder, and then I did go ahead and get up into the tree a bit to get some of the taller branches. It was great that this tree was actually strong enough to hold me, so I could climb up and do some of the pruning from up in there. And yeah, cut the vine back very, very much, just back to this very thick piece of vine. We may need to just do a little bit more of a cut here. It looks like we got a little breakage when it got twisted. But anyhow, that should come back great. Passion fruit vines are, yeah, very resilient, so that should come back and cover this up for next season. I'll just go ahead and pop over here. We did have this other Inga that this one had been leaning basically all the way over and had connected to this one. That had kind of gone all the way over and connected to this monkey pod here. So we did end up pulling quite a bit of vine out of the monkey pod. We pulled quite a bit of vine out of these neighboring trees, including this kukui here. So this kukui is going to be coming down very soon. Unfortunately, we had a pest, our Queensland longhorn beetle, has done considerable damage to this tree, if you can see. So this is going to be one of our next managements, is just taking this guy down to the ground. We are glad though, we do have some seed stock material up in the tree that should be close to ripe or all the way there, so we should be able to plant more of these. They do work as a pretty good trap crop for the pest, even if we can't keep them long term. Following that, our next management will probably be going down here, down the fence line. We've got a little short row in here, and then also another row of low-bearing coconuts going that way. The fence line from the neighboring lot, a lot of things are just kind of starting to lean over that we need to get managed. So we will be doing that very soon as well. All right, so that's about all I've got for you today. If you want to follow along and see our future managements, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.